looks like the last part did not record. So let's look at evaluating composite functions. Basically, it's a function within a function, read f of g of x. So what happens is we have our two functions here, and what we do is we start writing f, and our input becomes g of x. So I always write it like that first. Then I start writing f of 5x equals 3x minus 2, and the x becomes 5 of x. I distribute and then I combine like terms. In the other example, I have g of f of x, and there it's g, and then the input is 3x minus 2. Then I would distribute and combine like terms. So those are called composite functions. On the next page in your notes, this didn't record either, it's a word problem. And so what we need to be able to do is to identify what the independent and the dependent variables are. So as I read this, a submarine is 2,200 feet below sea level. It rises at a rate of 100 per minute. Let m be the number of minutes. Oh, we're adjusting here. And d of m represent the depth. So what I always do is I make myself a little graph. So I remember that minutes is my independent and depth is my dependent, because remember, this is our y and this is our x. So that's how I answer the two questions here. Then when I write a function, it's d of m. So you put your independent there, your dependent there, your independent goes in parentheses. That's where he started, and he went to 100. So what I want you to do now is to complete the rest of this along with the back of this. And there's some word problems with Nancy and Danny and Carrie. And you should hit pause now and then come back and check your answers. So your answers, I'll go ahead and put them through on here. So there's the answers for the first part. Remember, you can pause at any time on here to check the answers and to check the work. The last two on the bottom, F and G, there's the domain, so you would put it as a set, the range. Then you were supposed to work on, and if you haven't finished it yet, the notes and practice the applications of functions. I'll show you Nancy's first. And go ahead and check those answers. And let me move the rest of it so you can kind of see all of Nancy's. I think you can see it all. And then Danny did this science experiment, and I kind of filled the answers out in different colors. This is a decreasing, right, because he's cooling something and it goes down. Again, you can hit stop if you need to look at it, or pause. And then here's the rest of Danny's. It's all in the orange pen. And then Carrie's renting a nearby banquet hall for a dance. This is interesting, right? At the last question, I love the last question because algebraically you can set it up and find an answer, but does it make sense? So here I will show you Carrie's. And I think we can get it all on one, right? It doesn't make sense. Now I think you can see hers. You can replay this anytime. If you have to look over, you can pause, and then we have some work for you to do.